and the committee resolved as per the provisions of Standing Order 212 to engage the County Executive Committee members through the sectoral committees to shed more light on the proposed priorities, programs, and projects to be funded in the year 2025-2026 estimates. This process is guided by Section 131 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 and Standing Orders 192 Cap 3, Cap B, 212, 3, 4, and 5 of the County Assembly of Baringo Standing Orders. We have 1 hour to be shared between yourself and the committee. Therefore, I will invite my committee members to introduce themselves. Myself, Ernest Kibet, Chair.
I'm Simon Kiplagat, Vice Chair.
Alex Kurui, member.
Maria Losile, member of this committee.
Daniel Tuit, member of this committee.
Waziri on my right is the County Assembly Technical Team led by our clerk. Let them introduce themselves.
I'm Kiptum Jonathan, clerk to the committee.
I'm Ronald Cherotich, head of budget of the Assembly.
I'm Dennis Motonyo, clerk assistant.
Jeffrey Chepsoi, staff attached to the committee.
Thank you. I hope you received our issues so we'll invite you to make brief comments, introduce your people, and then you present your report, and you will kindly table your report. Welcome, Waziri.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm here representing my colleague, Architect Ruto, the CEC Lands, Housing and Urban Development. And here with me is the CEO, Collins Nakedi, and maybe the clerk to our committee. Please, you can introduce yourself.
I'm Sylvia Ruse, Clerk Plans Committee.
Thank you, Chair. So it happens that the CEC and one of the CEOs went to Nairobi for Senate proceedings. And here, Bwana Chair, with your permission, I'll kindly ask that the CEO, Collins Nakedi, takes this committee through what we have for you. Cindy, are you the one to table? Yes.
Thank you, Chair. As the report is being shared, Chair, with your Thank you, Chair. Chair, as Wazir has mentioned, I'm also sitting on behalf of my colleague, Nancy Lechurai. She is the Chief of Staff for Housing and Urban Development. And I'm responsible for lands and fiscal planning. Thank you. Chair, in the shared report, we've answered the first question, which is the overview of the expenditure for the financial year 2025-2026. And we've highlighted that as a department, we've received 300 million, or it's been proposed for the financial year. 251 is for development, and 48 million is for recurring. And we've listed the item lists that are covered in the budget. Lands and fiscal planning, a total of 95 million. housing and urban development total of 70 million. Eldama Ravine Town 62 million, sorry Chair. And Kabarnet Town 71 million. That is the spread of the amount. We've also gone further in page 2, Chair, to highlight those areas and the specific projects that are covered in those mentioned budget lines. In terms of revenue, that is the point number 3. Revenue estimate for the year, we are intending to raise from the county housing 16 million. Fiscal planning and development 1.3. These are the targets that are given by Treasury to the department, so it is our responsibility to achieve them. Parking fees and business permits 42 million. Plot rates and rent 141 million, and Kabaret municipality 85 million. We have gone further, Chair, to state out of those our internal targets or goals, and we are saying for the first item, which is account housing, we plan, we intend to raise 6 million. Physical planning and urban development, we intend to raise 7 million instead of 123. So far, up to March, the report that I have for that particular item line, we've already surpassed that. And I think by May, by now we are doubling that amount. So we have given ourselves a target of 7 million, which we think we will for the next financial year. For the parking fees, we intend to raise 30 million instead of 22. And for plot rates, given now the allotment letters that we have, we intend to raise 50 million instead of 38. So those are targets that we think are achievable, given also the support that we've been given via the budget for this prior budget. Question 2, Chair, was on the conditional grants, and we've stated as a department, as of this period, we do not have conditional grants. We are not lucky to have gotten that, so then we went to question 3, which is the summary of human resource in the department and the establishments. So we've listed there the establishments in the department. Here in Kabarnet, the municipal staff for Kabarnet, we've given their designations and their personal numbers. And then Kabarnet casuals, we've also listed there. For Eldama Ravine, we've listed and their casuals. And we've provided the general establishment of the department, and we have said in page 8 that we have 265 slots. Out of those, only 54. The current human resource that we have is a shortage of 219. And some of those positions have been requested in this particular budget, so we are hoping our prayers will be answered. In terms of the casuals, Chair, I do not have casuals on the part of the lands and fiscal planning, but my colleague on the part of housing and development, that's why you will see casuals in our list. In terms of the request that we've made, Chair, we've met through the Department of Devolution, because those are the departments responsible for salaries and that particular item. So we proceeded to question 4, Chair, which requires us to list projects that are either committed or in the paying stages. And we've listed those items that we've committed, those that are at IB, and those that are likely to roll over to next financial year. Most of these projects that are mostly going to roll over, Chair, are land acquisitions and land compensations. And some of the reasons that we are having include some of these parcels are family parcels, and we needed sellers to subdivide them so that we can have specific sections that they are selling to the government, and even in some cases, even these families to have agreed in regard to that. So we've not been able to fast track that, and for those that we have came to Treasury not at the earliest that we would have wished. So those are some of the challenges that we are having. And then also we are coordinating with the other departments, the user department, on their needs lists, so that we are on the same page with them, because we are acquiring these parcels mostly for other departments. So we've listed the projects that we've committed. Of course, we skipped to list all the projects that have been paid, which are more than this chair, because we just wanted to highlight the areas that the projects that have not been paid, but they have been committed, or that are likely to roll over. I will mention that we've gotten enough cooperation this time from the Treasury. Most of these projects, actually a huge percentage of them have been expensed or paid for. So, but still you will realize that there are other projects that we are hoping that by end of the financial year we'll have paid them and or committed to pay. Question number 5, Chair, was to comment on the departmental pending bills. We've listed some of the pending bills that we have, all the pending bills that we have as a department. The first one was on the valuation roll, pending bill of 8 million. The second one is urban development plan for Eldamaravin town, 1.2, and the last one is county spatial plan, 3 million. So those are 3 pending bills that we have as a department that we were not able to have cover in this particular financial year 2025. So we have budgeted for these items in the budget for the year 2025-2026, and we are hoping that we are able to clear that budget item. So it is coming to a total of 12 million. Item number 6, Chair, was for us to comment on matters, other matters or recommendation from the department. And our request was around staffing, because that's where we are having a big challenge, that our requests that we've forwarded already be respected, that we get support from that particular area. Otherwise, most of the prior items that we've requested in the budget, we believe that we are going to get them. And that's why we are raising our targets for the financial year. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Waziri. I'll make 1 or 2 questions and then I'll give to my colleagues. We are seeing that you have a projection of a possible revenue increment. So far, have you operationalized the valuation role? And if so, how much have you collected within this? Because I remember the valuation role came to be maybe mid of this financial year. So that is my question. Secondly, I've checked on the staff. You know, we've been talking about casual laborers who are not being paid. But looking at your staff, already, even before we employ the other revenue, I hope this list does not include the revenue clerks that were employed recently.
No, Chair.
It has?
No.
Yes?
No.
No. So it means already we had a good number of people employed, and they are not just, these are municipal staff and they are in PNP. I think so. So, because if I look at the, even in Cabernet, the revenue people here, the number is huge. And we are still saying we don't have people who are working. So can you categorize for us? Is it, are these people around, you know, like in the hospital, we always list doctors. But when you probe, you are told they are in study leave. So could it be the same thing is happening in your department, that we have been saying we have a shortage of revenue staff, and yet I can see a good number of them here. If for the municipality you have this kind of number, then there's this issue of casuals. You know, the casuals have not been paid for a very long time, especially for the municipalities. What is your take? What are you going to do? Because one time I inquired from the service board, public service board, why you are not able to give, because I'm told the COB wanted authentication of the staff, and the only legal body that can do it is the public service board. And I'm told when you presented the list, you presented a list of people, then the service board asked the departments to provide in a template form some of the critical information they needed, because they needed to know who are these people, when they were employed, all this, where they are working, up to even their geographical location. I mean if you belong to a sub-location, because the role of the service board is to ensure that employment is fair and just and equitable. So the accusation from service board was the departments were not able to give us this information. And up to date, you've not been able to give the information. So maybe you tell us what information have you given to the service board, because their claim is you just presented a list of people without details. So how are they going to verify? And then, you know, they said you have been paying since 2013 up to maybe 2024 financial year, end of 2024. Now you want us to give you a letter authenticating what you've done from 2024 to date. That's around the 8 months they're talking about. So they are saying, for us to give you this, we must know who are these people. But if you are not doing it, then you continue doing the way you have been doing. Because the cost of this 8 months is around 34 million. But the cost from that time to 2013 is maybe around 500 million. So what is your take on that? Let me allow my colleagues to ask questions as we...
Mine is, Chairman, mine is just one question. I'm seeing you have drivers who are driving the county firefighting machines, the drivers for your cars, and their casuals in the municipality. Last time there was a lorry firefighting machine which got an accident along Kapartonji Road, but the insurance never compensated in that accident because the person who was driving it was a casual. Now I'm seeing the drivers you have are all casuals. What happens if something happens to those lorries or to those pickups with these people are driving? Will the insurance compensate you? Because now it seems you have not learned a lesson from the previous one. So what measures are you putting so that to ensure that there is compensation in case of any accidents or what? Because now this is something which is I'm seeing it's in other departments. They have converted those people who are like drivers, like machine operators and drivers, to be on contract, so that they can be formal employees of the county. But casuals, you cannot ascertain that it is the employee of this county.
Honorable Alex.
Thank you, Chair. Just a question and observation. I'm looking at the kind of budget that you are getting this time, Waziri. It is impressive. But Waziri, what do you want to achieve as a department from this budget? What do you want to achieve as a department from this budget? Number two is just an observation. The Maravin Town Administration staff. I'm trying to look at the staff. Is it true that the senior most person is an administration clerk or a senior market attendant? I'm just out of curiosity. I was just looking at your staff.
Chairman, in addition to that, Chief, CEO, concerning the housing, this county houses, is it, what are we getting out of this one? Because now you are telling us you are projected to get 16 million, but you are saying that is not possible. You say the maximum, the match you can get is only 6 million. So, what is the problem? Is it viable to have those houses? Because now, even and you are requesting now that we need, unless we do repairs and maintenance of the renovations of those houses. Do you tell us when those houses are renovated, we can get we can reach that target of 16 million, which you are given?
Okay, Chairman. Chairman, according to this department's priority, I'm pleased because I'm seeing good progress in papers, because they are planning good things. I don't know if these things will happen. Like, for example, Chairman, they are planning to do planning and beaconing of plots in trading centers. They are planning to give out allotment letters, county allotment letters. I don't know, Chairman, because I don't know if it is true, because I remember the last plots or the last towns or the last trading centers which were planned and done the physical planning is when we were councillors. Like, for example, my town, Chemolingot. Since that time, nothing has happened. There's no transfer of plots because people have sold the plots to different people, and nothing has happened since that time to now. That town has grown up, and other towns in Baringo. But I've never seen this department coming to do what's called the realignment of town, beaconing, planning, giving people numbers. Because you can get in a town, there's everything in town, but they are not paying anything to the county. You get people have posho mills. They operate those posho mills. They don't pay the government or the county. They have rental houses, and because they don't have numbers, because they don't have allotment letters, because they don't have, there's nobody who has shown them. They did it by themselves. So I don't know if what is in these papers today will come to reality. That they are coming for beaconing, they are coming for planning, they are coming for to give out plots to plan small trading centers, because that is what is lacking, Chairman. We are lacking a lot of money. To me, I'm saying because we are not serious. but there's a lot of money, there's a lot of sales, there's a lot of money that we can get from this. Like for example, now towns have grown. Many towns have come up, or trading centers have come up. Nobody who has planned them, nobody who has done the realignment. People don't have numbers. And if I go to physical planning, if I go to surveyor, office of the surveyor, there's a lot of surveyors. There's a lot of people, a lot of physical planning. What are they doing in the office? They must go to the trading center, to towns, to plant these towns. Because if we don't plant these towns, Chairman, we will get slums in Baringo. Thank you, Chairman.
Honorable Member, I want you also to highlight we are looking at your budget, and you have issues to do with those houses that you're talking about renovating. You see, there was a ruling that all asbestos roofed buildings, and I can tell you majority of the houses you're talking about collecting rent from them are of asbestos. So you already have a demolition fee or a budget item for demolition, and you are telling us you need money for renovation. So are you renovating or you are demolishing? And if the removal is also budgeted for, I can see you've just mentioned Cabernet, Ravine. I think also Mogotio, they have some structures. So maybe you can highlight on that as well. So proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, on question 1, as to the collection of the revenues, we've had challenges, Chair, but we didn't want to come here all the time and complain. In the last financial year, we came to the committee and it was supported, and that's why we have money in this particular budget. So we are very optimistic, and we've put in place strategies to ensure that we are going to collect for the financial year. Right now we are cooperating with sub-county heads, admins. We have collected, we've also controlled approvals in regard to developments, and we are collecting a lot of money in areas that we had not collected before. Including also, Chair, when I came to the department, we have requisition for allotment letters. Right now we have allotment letters with us. In the next week or two, we've just issued the notifications to all the centers, so we are going to issue those temporary allotment letters, and with that we are going to collect. I think members rightfully mentioned that when you are issuing these allotment letters, there are money that you're going to collect, even for members that have never paid for their rates, probably even in several years. So we are very hopeful that we are going to collect. That's why confidently we're putting a target of 50 million from just one budget line, collection line, that will go into our internal revenue targets as a county. So we are very hopeful. We have the support that we have now to achieve that. Question 2, Chair, on staffing. First of all, when you look at the list of our staff, you realize that most of them are revenue collectors and enforcers. And these revenue collectors are in slaughterhouses, in municipalities. But when you look at critical technical positions like surveyors and planners, that's where we have shortages. And these are the people that generate revenue for the county. So you realize that we have shortage of critical positions, and when you look at even the list will make you think that we have enough staff, but when you look at the establishment, 265, we only have 54 across the 2 departments. So this is a challenge, and also when you separate lands and housing, that's also where the gaps will now be visible. So in terms of lands, we are short of staffing, and we need them. In terms of the casuals, Chair, on my in my section, we do not have casuals. That is the Department of Lands and Fiscal Planning. But from my colleagues' part, that's where they have casuals, and they need these casuals, I believe, because of the nature of their work. And most of these casuals is based on the municipalities. So in regard to your question, there was a request from the Public Service Board for us to provide the list and the details for the casuals, and we did on my end because I communicated to the board through CS that we do not have casuals as of now, but my colleague did provide the information needed. Our belief was that the board used the information to their satisfaction, and some of this information that my colleague was issuing was in this particular location or position. There is this particular staff, this is their details, so that the board are able to identify who is working, for example, in a certain slaughterhouse, or how many of them, and how long have they been there. And there was a template to that effect for the information that was needed from us. In regard to also casuals, Chair, in terms of their payments, departments have been liaising and working together with Treasury in regard to how they're paid. So it isn't exclusive to departments as to how casuals are paid. Again, I won't dwell on that because I do not have staff, so I do not have that particular engagement. I wish my colleague will be here to highlight on how casuals are specifically paid. But I'm sure that they are relying with Treasury, and I'm glad that Treasury is here to maybe highlight to members how casuals are paid and how much is spending, and probably when are they going to be paid. In regard to the drivers, Chair, I do not have knowledge of any a casual driver, any driver who is not permanent driver or driving county vehicles on my end. I do not have that. I will not. I'm not also knowledgeable to the fact that the same exists on the part of my colleague. For my colleague, they have the fire vehicles and other important machinery for the county, and there have been directive and communication from CS and from even the executive that county vehicles must be driven by county drivers on PNP.
You said you are not aware, but from the list, from what you have given us, go to page 6. You have number 17, conservancy driver. Is that not our driver who is in casual?
Okay. Yeah, I will. Yeah, I've seen that, Chair. I will probably get clarification on that. I don't know this particular specific case, but I believe that ought to be corrected. But as I mentioned, Chair, on the part of the Lands Department, we do not have casuals that are engaged in driving county vehicles. Thank you.
You're saying you don't have drivers who are engaged in?
Sorry?
You're saying you don't have casuals who are driving county vehicles?
So we have two departments, Chair, Department of Lands and Planning, and then also Department of Housing. So
in the other department of
there may
urban and whatever.
Yeah, probably. I don't know whether they will, if they were here, I don't know whether this ought to have moved to probably the other section. Maybe somebody just put there, but I will get clarification on that.
No, you cannot disown the report, my friend. You know, you have been sent here to present the report. How can you disown your report? I mean, unless you want us to say that you are not properly briefed.
Yeah, Chair.
Because you should own what you are presented.
Correct. So
to this committee.
Correct.
So what we are telling you is factual, that at the conservancies or the drivers at the municipality, all of them are casuals. And they are driving county vehicles. The water booster, the exhauster, the fire engine, almost even the manager is driven by a casual. So that is the information that we have here, and from also our own knowledge, we are also in this.
Chair, the communication is clear. I will communicate to my colleague so that that need to be corrected. They might have their resources, probably challenge of budget or anything. I'm not defending them. I'm just saying I will communicate to us so that need to be corrected. Thank you. There's a member who was asked what we need to achieve as a department. In page 2, Chair, we've listed the areas that we think that we going to accomplish, and luckily we've gotten funding for that, for those items. So in summary, we want to we have ambitious plan to initiate adjudication of our across the sub-counties. Also, there are plans to do surveys and to do center planning in this particular budget. And I think this I will tie to the member from RIPCO who asked around the same in terms of our priorities. In this particular financial year, Chair, we are going to do planning and adjudication for several centers in Kapturo, in Kiserian, Ngambo, in RIPCO, where the MCA comes from. So they are actually achievable things that we have planned, and it's been budgeted for. Treasurer has already paid. Also, as I mentioned, Chair, we've just received our allotment letters for the county, and we are going to issue those. We are targeting across the sub-counties. Yesterday, I issued notifications to all sub-county and ward admins, and our sub-county staff are going to proceed to issue those allotments. So these priority areas for the department are achievable, and we have the budget now to move in and do that. In regard to the county housing, Chair, I should correct that the current collection is 6 million, the current target for the department. The department is targeting to raise 16 million, so that's an improvement. But as mentioned, there are needs that the department will need for them to optimize collection from those resources, and they have asked for innovation. And also, when you have asbestos, you have to make it conducive for your client so that people can pay their rents, can take up those houses, and also pay to the county government. So there's need to renovate for our clients. They need also to re-roof. It's not demolishing, it is renovating. And so so we do not intend to do demolition. We intend to renovate. And most of these houses are, they have seen days.
Chief Officer, we all know some of these houses. In fact, some are just around here.
Correct.
We all know that the money that you are charging is very low. Not because of the asbestos, but because, so if you have a 2-bedroom house in town and you are charging 4,000 or 5,000, how will you achieve the revenue? So have you made a decision on how to even, I feel that is the area now. If the house is going for, currently an house within town here of 2-bedroom, it's around 20,000. And you are collecting 6,000. So it means you are letting go of almost 3 times of your cost. So is that something that you can consider so that you can also increase the earning? Because if you are making the structure habitable, then it means you can increase the cost. Because I'm sure if you go and look at the pay slips of those individuals living in those houses, the house allowance is more than what you are charging. And most of them have not paid. You remember there was a time we were told some people have stayed for 2-3 years without paying.
That's being correct.
Yes.
Correct, Chair. I think you've stated well. We've also had cases at Chirac where those cases where people are not paying and they are on county housing. We've also, I think when Treasury was giving targets to the department, they also gave sort of list of the things that they needed to see, including what the points that we've raised in terms of whether what we are charging is enough and whether there's need to increase those. So I think what the department is saying, communicating is, if they are able to get support to be able to renovate these houses and provide security and conducive environment, then they are able to justify the increase in terms of rates. And also we can then hold accountable the department as to the collections that they are going to collect. But your points are valid in terms of there's need to survey the market rates and charges per the market. And also conduct enforcement so that people who are not paying, they need to pay. Thank you.
Talk about the evaluation role. How effective is it? And also, I'm realizing you have a pending bill for the evaluation role. So we could be talking about evaluation role that is still being held hostage somewhere by the consultant because of non-payment of the fee. So honestly, can you tell? And this amount has been appearing, so we don't know if you pay every year. Was it there is a service fee so that the evaluation guy will keep demanding for certain fee. So can you tell us what is pending bill? And I think that the CEO planning can assist you in that.
Thank you, Chair.
I saw him looking at you and he was ready to answer something.
Yeah, maybe my colleague will help me. Chair, the information I have is that there's a pending bill for the valuation roll of 8 million. I'm not privy as to whether part of that or whether there was a payment prior to what is projected as a pending bill. So I'll probably, maybe my colleague in planning can help me, but this particular item is in the housing department, so I don't have much information in regard to, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Chair. So in the first place, I want to appreciate the CEO because he has said, you remember, Chair, last time when they were giving us the revenue targets, which went about 600 million, they gave us a target of around 138 million, which they are yet to achieve. But he has admitted that with the budget they have been given, they are likely to hit the targets as what he has presented. And maybe, Chair, my prayer is that if this budget is maintained the way it is, I believe they'll be able to give us the required revenue in the next financial year. About the valuation role, Chair, I think there was an agreement that this exercise was conducted by the national government. And you remember the money, is it they are saying CELO, the 160 million. I think there was some sort of an agreement that they release it to us, and then by the time they will be releasing that 160 million, and then they take their money from that 160 million.
Is it released?
They have not yet released.
But have you informed them that we have complied?
I'm not aware. I think the person who, the department is actually in a better position to tell us.
I mean, Waziri, Chief Officer, you are the one in the know of monies. I mean, you know, if we are getting that money from them, how do you normally follow it up? Because if someone asks your money, you'll always have a way of getting in touch with that person. So what is your engagement with the relevant body? Because we could be talking about money that is not there.
Okay, thank you, Chair. I think I'll beg to carry this question so that when the Treasurer will be appearing, we'll answer it appropriately.
Okay, I think that is fair enough. So, Bwana Chief Officer, I was looking at these plot rates and rent. Plot rent and rates, 141 million. Are these factual figures? I mean, are they based on already issued allotment or possible allotments to issue? Do you have a number, like, for example, 141 million? Can I attach it to allotment letters that are available for verification so that I'm able to say, in this year, we're going to collect 141, basing on we have maybe, like you can say, I have 141,000 allotment letters, and each allotment letter is 1,000. So is it based on that, or what is it based on?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Chair, it is based on that, because what we did was we went to sub-counties and we listed owners of plots. So we have list per sub-county, and we've done pre-cleaning, meaning we have confirmed that this particular person, this is the plot number, and this is the plot, and how much arrears.
So for the benefit of anyone, how many leases do you have in the entire Baringo?
I don't have the figure here right now, but we have the list per sub-county.
But you have the amount, 141.
Yes.
So why can't you not?
We've generated the amounts based on the arrears per the plots. Okay. Yeah. So we are once we go to issue, then we are able to collect those actual number. Now
so this amount includes
projected.
arrears.
Yes.
But you know, we've seen the practice of governors saying we forgive the arrears, or it is interest on arrears. It is not the arrears.
No, so
suppose the governor says I forgive the arrears.
Yeah. So, Chair, in the notification letters that we've issued, there are different items that accumulate to a figure within that will be the owner need to pay, and probably some of the items that the governor has waived will not feature in that, so they are not featured in this particular project.
So the anything to do with waivers, penalties, and everything is not featured.
Right now, I cannot speak to specifics as to whether that is part of it, but I will. But if that is the direction of the governor, then that is the position.
Okay. There is a purchase and installation of skip pins in El Ravine. I think it was declining public participation in Ravine town. It was declined. During public participation in Ravine town, 3 million health hazard. What is your view? You see, we have had a challenge on waste disposal. And you find that the public want a clean town, but I think we have not been able to explain how we can manage this waste. So, what are we going to do? Like in Meldama Ravine, I don't know if you have a dumping site. Do you have a dumping site? So there's also there's this budget for, I think it's for acquisition of land. Okay, this one is for skip pins, the ones you place them around town. So what are you doing about it? Because it is easy to budget for money, but placing them, because I remember there was a time we placed some in town and they were vandalized. Someone claims, you've placed it next to my business premise, and all this.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I believe all the municipalities and all the towns are having challenge in regard to this, and I think department are facing marriage of challenges in regard to garbage collection and disposal. We've processed acquisition of land for the same in some areas. County has allocated that because that has been the outcry before, but we got support from the executive to be able to solve that issue, not entirely across the county, but in some areas. And some of the requests, and probably the areas that the department is facing, that's why they're placing this particular challenge. I believe there are other challenges that they're facing. I remember having conversation with CEO in regard to CEO housing and also CEO environment in regard to some of these issues, including also not only purchasing but also fuel to ensure operationalization of these equipments. The information I have from the CEO is that they have engaged the community or stakeholders in those areas. They have identified areas where they're going to place this, and also they have enough enforcement from the department but also from the county to ensure effectiveness in regard to the same. So, but still, you know, the challenges that the concerns that you've raised in regard to where the county is just putting money there, I think that is something that the department will still carry on with to ensure that there's value for money. And I'll communicate that to my colleague. Thank you.
Something that tweet was alluding to, that he wants to see maybe this amount that you're basing is already on identifiable plots, but there are so many centers that have not been planned. We could be having triple more than what we have. So, because you are armed now with the population role, why would you not position yourself for a massive, maybe Hararai kind of thing, rapid result initiative, to do some quick plannings, survey and plannings of the centers that have not been planned, so that we issue these plots to people. Because I know of so many centers where the allotment letters given before are just maybe a quarter of what is expected. We've planned some, and we could see you'll find a place, the plots are 200, but only issued is 50. So it means your revenue target is based on the 50. It is not based on what has not been. So what is your plan on that?
Thank you, Chair. I think your points are valid. Now, Chair, you need to understand and that's why last year we had a lot of requests from the department, to the point even the members were like, this is the same budget we are talking about. Should we take from this department and bring to your department, or how should we balance it? And when we raised those points, we got support that now we have small budget for the allotment letters, 300,000, but that 300,000 is going to multiply in terms of revenue and bring 50 million. So you can imagine the effectiveness of that. But still, from my position, there are other things that I would have wished to get support to even enhance that particular kitty. But then you cannot have 10 requests at a go. And as we get one from the Treasury, then we are going to place another one every financial year. And the point you've raised about stakeholder engagement, so that there is a flagship project that ensures that we have a coverage, survey and planning makes sense. And I think, and it's also something that I've put in our strategy. But then you have to be strategic as to when you place it, because at the same time also Treasury is having other requests, and sometimes, so for this particular phase where I am, I'm contented with the support that I've gotten, because I want to achieve this, to build that to be the case for the next request. Thank you.
Thank you. I think because we have the Treasury people here, you know, we are talking about, someone mentioned a potential of 2 billion Kenya shillings as potential for Baringo on on-source revenue. So it would be interesting to hear from the Chief Officer Planning, because this is an area, if we take money to this area, like he has just demonstrated, 300,000 is translating to 50 million. So I'm imagining if we decide that we want to plan all our centers, because if we even take the half year, the next half we'll be having money. We can even triple our revenues. So why can't we make a decision that we allocate enough money for this activity, that all centers will be planned, everything, and we achieve, we bring so many people on board.
Okay, thank you, Chair. As you rightly put it, that's actually the direction. If we can focus.
As you answer that one, are you aware that most of the leases that we are talking about actually belong to maybe the Chumo generation? So we could be talking about getting money from people who have gone to heaven. So because I'm talking about from where I come, there is no young person. The people who have these allocations are the age set of Kipkoimet and above. Those are people at 70s and above. So these are the generation, all of them, and those are the able-bodied people who don't have the documents, and some of these properties to get into someone's hand who can pay, it has to undergo succession processes. So can you tell us exactly what is, because you cannot come to a center and say, this plot belongs to you. Then you are told it belongs to so-and-so, and he died 50 years ago.
Okay, thank you, Chair. It is true what you have said. And for the record, I think for the first time, this Department of Lands and Urban Development have been allocated the highest budget in this financial year. So I think they will not have a reason as to why they will not be able to raise the money. When we were in public participation for the estimates in Mogotio, for example, as the Chief Officer said, they have a pending bill of over 30 million. That's Mogotio alone. And when the sub-county administrator was telling the people that these pending bills for the plot land rates are for people who are not even known where they are. And what the public was saying, they were saying then we need to bring it to the public. Then whoever will pay, they just pick from the debit. And whoever picks, you clear the bill, and then you take the plot. So, but what the department has done, if you can look at the money that has been allocated, it's around 18 million, including the equipment for survey. So I believe the money they have been given, they will be able to raise the 141 million they have said. I want to comment on the skip pins for Lamaravin. I want to say that in this budget, I think I've seen, we have 2 lorries to lift those skip pins. One will be for Cabernet municipality. I know all of us are aware. When those what do you call, is it the takatakas are being removed in the market, if you have ever been to that place during that time when they are removing, it is not habitable. Even around that treasury, below, just down there at the Ruby's petrol station, the time they are removing those things, and remember these are human beings who are removing those things, the whole place becomes smelly. So in this budget, Chairman, we have 2 lorries, one for Cabernet, and another one which will be stationed in Marigat, which will be operating between Chemalingot, Marigat, Mogotio, and El Lamaravin. So, as you say that maybe the members of the public from El Lamaravin may have suggested that these things are not, should not be purchased, and then to me, I think that budget should remain. And then once we have that lorry, it will be a matter of picking and replacing an empty one. So for plots, I think we'll be heading to the right direction, as the chief has said. We have given them enough resources. They may not be enough, but at least they are somewhere. Thank you. Okay, maybe Chair, as I hand over the mic to the CEO, I support you in that. If somebody has accrued for several years, maybe the department can actually document, and then if that person, we can give them a window. If they don't pay, then you can dispose, give to the deserving people of Baringo.
Thank you, Chair. Just to comment, so prior to giving the allotments, before even we write your name in the allotment, we've done 3 times per sub-county confirmation of whose land is this. If it was for your grandfather, does the family want the land now to transfer to another person? So there's that conversation, so that we call it cleaning, so that we ensure a final document as to the list, and we collaborate with our sub-county officers so that those concerns are able to arrested at that level before those documents are given. Then also, Chair, because of that, we've been able to dispense. This week alone, I've dispensed 43 plus 9, around 52 cases, land cases. So we are able to confront those issues, even where probably properties are overlapping, and be able to send our surveyors and demarcate and show people this is your boundary. So we are able to engage these things before we issue those documents. By the time we are issuing the documents, we are issuing to the right owners, and we have ensured where there was need for succession, then that has been taken care of. And then now we get the money from now either the family or the current owners of the lands. And then also, Chair, there is a national project called CECM that is targeting to plan our informal settlement. These are areas we've not been able to collect money because of the nature of it, and with the planning now, we are getting support to do that. So we are now moving in and plan those areas and have plot numbers and get to know the actual owners of this particular plots. We are now requesting our colleague departments to move in and provide services, including access roads. And these are new areas we are tapping into in terms of collection. So cumulatively, the efforts of the department is going to give us the targets that we're meeting. And the cases that were there before, the complaints that were there before, are moving in. I'm going across the sub-county to arrest them and clean and those lists. Thank you.
Officer, I think Waziri, now you can summarize for us as we close.
Thank you, Chair, for this opportunity. From the presentation by the Chief Officer, you can realize that this department, as you rightly observed, is likely to be our cash cow as a county going forward when they are empowered. And we really appreciate the opportunity that you have given to us to be here to this late, and sorry that you have been here since morning and still strong. So we are going out energized and ready to make a contribution toward the prosperity of our county. Thank you very much, Chair. And maybe, Chair, since I have been here for long, maybe you can allow me tomorrow with my team to come early in the morning.
Okay, thank you, Aziz. I think that one is that is a good request, a kind request. So also be here very early in the morning, because we wish to start tomorrow very early in the morning, so that we still have a good number of departments. So we wish you the very best. We don't have supper, so good night. Thank you. Tomorrow, if possible, we meet by 9 so that we are able to move with speed. Okay, honorable members, committee and staff, we are now we are closing our session today. Tomorrow we still have a good number of departments. We have the water department, we will have the environment department, we'll have the sports and culture, we will have the education department, and we'll have the finance department. So we are closing now till tomorrow at 9 so that we can proceed with our work. Thank you.